Hello and welcome back to the Racing Gambit on the Sports 2.0 network for our second of three shows, where this time we will be looking at the undercard to the Kentucky Derby with three really good looking grade ones. Obviously, I'm back with Ace. Ace, are you still doing okay?
Doing well, excited for some grade one action from Churchill Downs, including the Derby. So let's get rolling.
Yeah, let's get straight into it. So we'll start with the Derby City Distaff, which is a grade one. Over 7 furlongs for the four-year-olds and over, the fillies and mares. And this looks like a really competitive race, Ace. I don't know. I mean, I only decided on where I'm going on this one earlier today because I feel like I've kind of been tossing and turning on where I'm going to land.
This one is one of the tougher races of the day. You can make a case, an honest case, for about half this field because you've got a ton of previous winners last time out. But then you also have a ton of horses who didn't show up well at all on their last start, but it was the first start of their year. So realistically, how well are they supposed to fire, right? What's also interesting is you got a lot of horses here who just love to just be around the money in grade twos, grade threes, grade ones, where you wouldn't be surprised if any of them just pop up and run away with this one. So I'm very interested to see who your top pick is in this race.
Yes, I was most kind of conflicted between Kimari for Wesley Ward and Obligatory, and I end up on Obligatory just over the fact that she won the Kaluki over a mile at Churchill Downs in November, and that I think that's still very fresh. She also landed the 8 bells last year at Churchill Downs as well. I think that's some pretty good book, and I think it's just it's a Churchill Downs form, which has kind of swung me on her really. Sorry, but Kimari is always there or thereabouts, so I was kind of I was almost there, but it was the Churchill Downs form that won it over for me.
That's understandable. I have Obligatory as my second pick. The horse that I really like seems to be a 7 furlong specialist as of late, and that's just one time. It's not every day that you get Flavian Pratt riding a Brad Cox horse. So Flavian jumped aboard at Keeneland. They won the Grade 1 Madison, coming in from a stalking closing position. 7 furlong races we saw in the Breeders' Cup. They're the hardest races to handicap. They're not exactly a sprint, but they're not exactly a route. If everyone's going way too fast, you can have someone coming in from the clouds. I do think Obligatory is the play here, just on the Churchill Downs form. But if I'm looking for kind of just that, who's the next best up who can win, I'm going to go with just one time. But I think you can make a case for like 4 or 5 horses. So tell me about Kimari.
Yeah, Kamari, obviously, she was behind Bells and one in the Madison last time out, wasn't she? That was after a bit of a layoff. Obviously, she did win the Madison last year, so I think she could be there for that form, but the obligatory facts are kind of winning over to me. The other one that I think is interesting is Lady Rocket, but obviously also winning the Madison. She's a very interesting contender. So she won the Gopher Wand at Aqueduct last year. She was second to Gallop Bottom. And obviously she did win at Churchill Downs last year as well. But I think she's not kind of grade one standard, I don't think.
Yeah, and the hard thing is, to your point, Lady Rocket just went out like a rocket and ran 22 and 44 and fell apart in the Madison. They were leading at the top of the stretch, right? They took 4th. Good Churchill form, 1 win, 1 second, right? But I do think, to your point, it's an underneath play for me just because I don't think they are grade 1 caliber. Now, mind you, still a very nice horse, but I would have probably, if she was in a grade 2 or grade 3, be taking her all day. This grade 1's going to, I think, be a little tougher for her.
Yeah, so but where you landed on there then?
I am going to go just one time and Obligatory, exacta box, left and right, up and down. In my pick 3s, in my pick 4s, in my pick 5s. I don't think I'm going to play the pick 6, but you know where I'm going. How about you?
Yeah, I'll be sticking with obligatory, I think. I'd be keen on Kimari. So next up, we got the Churchill Downs Stakes in Grade 1, over the 7 furlongs, for the 4-year-olds and over, so this is the man equivalent. And this looks like another really good open race. Obviously got some ones at short prices, but you've also got some very big prices in here as well. But you also got Hero, Emmanuel West, and you got obviously last time out winners in Grade 1, so Jackie's Warrior and Prevalent. So this looks, I think it's probably a true competition mentally. What do you think?
This one is so interesting to me for so many reasons. You can pick a ton of angles in here, and there's only 8 choices. I honestly think you can cut the field in half, and you have your contenders and your pretenders. But then again, like you got Jackie's Warrior here, and Jackie's Warrior is a multi-graded stakes Grade 1 winner in multiple years. They just seem to win. I'm actually going to pass on Jackie's Warrior. I think they're going to be the big favorite. I don't think 7 furlongs is their best distance. I think it's 6 furlongs. But to your point, there's one horse that I'm completely throwing out of this race, and it is Aloha West. Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. That race completely fell apart. Dr. Cheval should have had that thing wrapped up, but yet again, everyone went way too fast on the front end. I want to hear where you're going to be going with your pick, and then I'm going to come in with, I think, a surprise for you, who I'm taking.
Yeah, so Jackie's Warrior, I was very close on, but the price just isn't there. So I kind of went with reinvestment risk, which is a bit of a throwback. I think she found a new home over the short distance. I was second in the car to handicap last time out. Won over 6.5 furlongs at Gulfstream in Feb. Beat in I can't remember who he beat now. This is much harder, but I think he's taking steps forward. I could be there or thereabouts. I just had so much trouble with this race.
That's understandable. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to take Cezanne. Here's why. I think 7 furlongs is the right distance for them, and I think they have the right running style that can win here. Bob Baffert will be looming over the Derby like that big cloud of rain that can just start at any time. And although it's hard for me to get the Baffert, stink off this horse, like they keep Flavian Pratt, went to Todd Pletcher, it's not like he went to that much lesser of a trainer. And I really liked his form at Santa Anita, winning the San Carlos. The Oaklawn Mile, losing by just a neck coming down. I think a mile is just a little too long for this horse. I really like Cezanne, and I hope that all the karma in the world pushes this horse up in odds-wise to like 6-1 or something.
You got 6-1 when you won at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah, I really do. So I look at this field. Jackie's Warrior is going to show up. We know that. I hope they get beat. And to your point, right? Do you really want to go short on Jackie's Warrior? Jackie's Warrior is going to be 1-1, right? You're going to get some prices elsewhere, and I don't blame you going with a reinvestment risk. Second last out in the Grade 1, but I do think they have good form, and I'm never going to blame anyone for going with an Irad Ortiz horse, especially trained by Chad Brown.
Yes, that's why I landed reinvestment risk. You're with Cezanne.
I'll tell you one horse to completely stay away from. Prevalence, the 6 horse. They have been all over the map. They win at lower levels. They won the Commonwealth at Keeneland, but I don't know. I didn't think it was the best race, and I don't think that like beating long range Toddy, who's in this race, and Obezos is like shocking to me. Like they couldn't even win an open claiming in February of this year at Gulfstream. Just hard pass on Gasoline there, but not going to happen.
There we go. That's the Churchill Downs Stakes.
for sure.
So next up, we've got the old posted Bourbon Turf Classic, which is Grade 1, over 1 miles on the turf. This is obviously the final undercard race before the Derby itself, and this looks like a really competitive affair as well. And I think this is probably the race on the undercard really that is the most interesting.
Yes, and it being a turf race, I really want to get your opinions on a lot of these horses here because I think it's a 2-horse race, but I want to know if the 2 horses that I think have a chance or the 2 horses you think have a chance. So I'm ready. Give it to me.
So the first I looked at was Ivar, but obviously he's 6th in this last year does concern me a little bit, and he's not getting any younger. But he did win quite. He went a really good race. He just got more, I thought, when he was 3rd. Obviously, you've got public sector near the vein. The public sector it just seems like it's been around forever. And he's only 4. And then obviously with the Chad Brown faction, you've got to give him respect, haven't you? It was 4th on his return to Hollywood Derby, which I thought was a good return. Obviously won the Hill Prince last year over this distance. And he's a 3-time grade, so you can't take that away from him. Shell's Spot was the one I completely passed him straight away. Because I just don't think this distance is perfect for him. And the other one I got down was Ammo, which is trained by another Chad Brown horse. It was 2nd on the SID, the Fairground Stakes, but was 3rd in Grade 2 Cup in France last year. And I think he's likely to come off in his debut run, so I'd expect a big run from him this Saturday.
Okay, yeah. The 2 that I was most interested in is Adamo from Flavian Pratt, Chad Brown. 2nd time coming over. They went to the Fairgrounds Grade 3, and they took 2nd by a head to California Charge. I just think they went, like Jose Ortiz waited way too long. This horse had all the steam coming home. And I remember capping that card and going, they should have got there 100%. And so I like Adamo to finish 1st or 2nd. And then I'm completely with you on public sector. I don't understand how this horse is only 4. It just seems like they've been winning forever. And I really do think they're in the best form. To your point, the Hollywood Derby, they ship all the way to Del Mar. They're an East Coast horse. Like they're shipping all the way to Del Mar. They take 4th by 1.5. And yet again, Jose Ortiz just waiting a little too long. But we don't have Jose Ortiz on any of these horses. We got Irad Ortiz, the better brother. No offense. And then we got Flavian Pratt, who those 2 jockeys I think are heads and toes better than the rest of this field. Tyler Gaffalione, great jockey. Joel Rosario, great jockey. I feel like they're just a little less in the tiers perspective from there. So I'm with you on public sector. I'm going with Adamo. I'm completely with you on fading Shirl's Spite. I hear you.
So are we in agreement on that race?
I think we really are. The one, like you mentioned, like Ivar, it's really tough for me because, yes, they've run in a ton of Grade 1s. They're just not getting up in time. And listen, I would love if Jumpin' Joe Talamo would jump up and win this one, but I just see that as an underneath play at a price though, which is nice, right? You know you're going to get a price on Ivar every time they run, but they run pretty competitively, only losing by 2 lengths every time it seems.
He's a very good horse. Ivar is obviously 11 starts, 5 wins, 2 thirds. Like he's going to be there or thereabouts. I can't see him winning. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But yeah, I'll be with you on Adamo, but I'd be very keen to use public sector somewhere because he just wins all the time, don't he?
Yes, he does. Toss that last race out, going all the way to Del Mar. Looks pretty good otherwise.
Yeah, so that just about rounds off the undercard. But we'll be back for our third show afterwards when we will be assessing the contenders and pretenders for the Kentucky Derby itself. And we will give you at least one winning bet, I would suppose. See you in a second.